Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Huddle Up with Gus. I'm your host, former NFL quarterback Gus Frerotte, and welcome to the new 1631 Digital News Studio. You know, some people say, no news is good news. Well, I say to those people, you've never read 1631digitalnews.com. Go to 1631digitalnews.com to get your latest news, sports, music, and entertainment. And maybe even listen to your favorite podcast, Huddle Up with Gus. Check it out today at www.1631digitalnews.com.
Huddle Up with Gus is brought to you by Vegas Sports Advantage. Clients of Vegas Sports Advantage are winning big in 2021, and you can be a part of the winning too. As of June 1st, $100 bettors are up $3,700. $500 bettors are up $18,500, and $1,000 bettors are up $37,000, and $5,000 bettors are up $185,000. Become a client today by clicking the link in the description below and use promo code HUDDLEUP to take 25% off your package today, thanks to our partnership.
Welcome to what surely will be a doozy of a matchup right here, sports fans. Whether your game is on the gridiron, at the diamond, or on the links, we can only say, welcome to this week's Huddle Up with Gus. 15-year NFL quarterback Gus Frerotte, passion for sports, has taken him on the field and behind the benches, playing for 7 NFL franchises with 114 TDs under his belt. Gus knows who the players are and how the games are won.
It's not every day you get to hang out with an NFL quarterback, huh?
Okay, sports fans, from the decked out and plush 1631 digital studios, it's kickoff time. So snap your chin straps on and get ready to huddle up with Gus.
Strange variety, but again, a big play to Leslie.
Hey everyone, how you doing? Gus Frerotte here. Hey, we're starting a show. Hey, hit me up in the chat if you're out there. We're just having a little trouble getting Vince on, but we're gonna get him on. Our super team's working on it right now, and we'll get him on in a second. But we got a great guest today, and I appreciate everyone coming on. I just want to tell you about our team, Super.Events. This is a new platform. We're working out a lot of kinks with them, as you guys can tell, but it's a great platform. It's going to be a lot of fun with Vince today once he gets on. I also want to thank NFL Alumni Ventures. They are partnered with us and Super, and we look forward to doing Huddle Up with Gus with them as well. And also, you can check me out at huddleupwithgus.com or go to @huddleupwithgus. Check us out on any social media. We're going to be bringing Vince on here in a second. But today's guest, Vince Papale, Mr. Invincible. I'm excited to have him on. Actually watched Invincible again today. It hits home with me just because I grew up in a little town. And, I understand what people go through when they get excited for a hometown hero like that to kind of go out and play in the big league. So, Vince is what a guy is. He didn't even play college football, which I'm so excited to talk about. And here's his career growing up. And, he played 1 year of high school football, and to go on and to play in the NFL shows you that hard work, perseverance, and character gets you to a lot of places. But I got my sons in the background. Gunnar and Gabe are here. They're doing the show. So if anybody's got a question for me, before we get started, we can talk a little NFL. We can talk about anything you want. Hit me up with a question. Gunnar and Gabe, find me some questions. Put some people in the queue, whatever you want to do. There's Gabe hitting us up. But we're excited. Our guys at Super are working on Vince. He's down in Jupiter, Florida right now. I think he's been playing golf. I think he'll be there all winter, getting out of New Jersey. But we're excited to have him on. So anybody got any questions? You want to hear anything? I don't know. Will the Patriots make the playoffs? From Thomas Wolf. Hey, Thomas. That's a good question. They got a young quarterback. They had a great game against the Buccaneers. They lost in the last seconds. Coach Belichick always puts a good team together. And I think that they have a shot, but in that division, I think the Bills are king this year. I'm not so much worried about the Jets or the Dolphins. So if they can have a better record than some of the other teams in the AFC, they have a shot, and you can never count the Patriots or Coach Belichick out. And all right, so we got Brandon Amos on and asking, what's been the biggest surprise of the NFL season so far? So Brandon, I don't know. The thing about it is there's always a surprise every NFL season. And for me, I don't know if it's so much a surprise as it is didn't expect it, right? That I think Arizona and Kyler Murray and that team, they're 4-0. And in that division, would have never thought that would have happened. And, I think that for me is the biggest surprise. And the other one is that, the Chiefs lost 2 games. I mean, who would have thought that? So that is crazy to me. And the other biggest surprise, I see you're a Steeler fan, is that the Steelers aren't doing very well this year. Big Ben's having some, the whole offense has been having a rough time. They need their defense to pick it up. And hopefully the offense can get hot and put some points on the board. I think that's where they're really hurting. So Gabe says the Chiefs and the Steelers being last in their division. You're right, Gabe. I think that's probably unexpected by everyone. So, all right. So Terry wants to know, was Brady's return to Foxborough overhyped or not? No, I don't think so. I mean, for a guy to win that many championships with one team to come back, I think there's a lot of hype in that. And I think that's well-deserved. We see this in a lot of other sports when guys go back to their teams where they played for many, many years and done a lot of great things, that the fans are usually pretty welcoming. I loved how the beginning of the game, before the game started, everybody's cheering him. They play a great video of him. It was probably pretty emotional. And then once the game started and he came out in the field, they booed him. That's typical sports fans. So I actually love that. That was great. That's kind of what the game's all about. A lot of times you do have a hero. You have somebody that you root for. But if you live in an area, you're basically that fan, that team's fan. No matter who comes in, who plays quarterback, who plays receiver, who's on defense, it doesn't matter. It's about the team and winning and losing. So I think I'm excited for the game tonight, and I'm excited for the rest of the season. I'm not doing very good in my fantasy team. Looks like that I'll probably come in last place, even though I won it a few years ago. I am just stinking it up right now. But, so Thomas wants to know again, how has the game changed since I played? So I can't wait to get Vince on, because if you guys have seen the movie Invincible, and, when you hear Greg Kinnear played Dick Vermeil, when you hear him talking about, we're going to do 6 weeks, we're going to have practice 3 times a day, 3.5 hours each practice. They weren't kidding. That's how they did it. For me, it was a lot different. But for Vince and that team, they put their bodies through hell before they even stepped on that field for the first game. And they had 6 preseason games. So it is crazy how the game has changed for the guys. And it's probably changed for the better. People want to say, well, there's more injuries now and everything else. I'm sure there were a lot of injuries back in the day as well. So for me, the game has changed. We got Thomas up. Thomas, you got your I see you're on screen here. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I am good. It's nice to see you up here. And where do you live?
Canton, Ohio.
Canton, Ohio. You know what? My son Gabe, who's on right now, just interned all last summer in Canton, which
that's awesome
for the Hall of Fame. So that was great. He had a lot of fun doing that, and it was fun. I would check all my buddies who either got into the Hall of Fame or I played with and all those things, and I'd look at these pictures on Facebook and all that, and all of a sudden I'd see Gabe in the background of those a lot of those pictures. So Thomas, tell me, what do you love about football?
Well, I grew up a Patriots fan, so I've kind of loved how they've been over the last 20 years, even though they're kind of in a rebuild mode, I guess, but I have high hopes for Mac Jones.
Well, you can't really complain about the
Right.
Patriots, right? You guys had a good run. If any team, I mean, look at what they did and what the franchise did for all those years. I mean, I played for 15 years and never made it to one Super Bowl. and there's one team making it to a bunch, right, in 20 years. So, you guys could go through a little hard times, and I wouldn't feel bad about it.
Yeah, we had our time in the sun, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's over. With Coach Belichick, he wants to win more than anybody. I'm not so sure his son makes the best faces on the sideline, but I think that they're going to have a pretty good team coming up.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
You got any other questions?
No, I don't think so. I definitely appreciate you putting this on, though. This is great.
Yeah, no, we're excited. This is a new platform with Super, and we're going to be hosting Huddle Up with Gus on here every week. So please join us every week. Next week, I'm expecting Monty Toomer to come on, and then we'll be having Doug Flutie on and some other great guests, Kevin Williams, who just got inducted into the Ring of Honor with the Vikings. So a lot of friends, a lot of people I know will be coming on this platform and letting our fans and our guests come on and say hi.
That's awesome. Looking forward to it.
I appreciate you coming on, Thomas. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. I think we might be getting Vince on here in a second. So Gunnar and Gabe, I think it's pretty cool that this whole platform is working so well. I'm hoping that we get Vince on here in a second. But Dan from Super is working on it, and they identified the issue. So, hey, Gunnar and Gabe, why don't you bring Alfred up if he wants to come on and say hi? All right. Alfred, you want to come on and say what's up? Hey, Alfred, how you doing? You got your microphone on? Oh, we got Brandon on. All right. Brandon, you got your microphone on?
Oh, hello?
Hey, there you go, buddy. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. You're a Steelers fan, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm actually a Steagles fan. I'm a Steelers and Eagles because
What do you
my
live in
dad's
Harrisburg?
like from Waynesburg, right outside,
Yeah,
right outside of Pittsburgh. My mom's from Philly, so yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so who's your favorite player on the Steelers?
Yeah, right now that's a tough one. Like the guy that comes to mind for me is Minka Fitzpatrick. I really like him because like back in the day, I was a big Troy Polamalu fan, and I just love the way he played the game and his faith and just the way he went about life. And Minka reminds me a lot of him. So currently, that's why I like him.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, what a good player, right? Troy Polamalu was amazing. I hated playing against that guy because when I taught high school football, coached it, I'd put a Troy Polamalu film on for our guys to learn how to tackle because that guy went full speed and never broke down. So it was crazy. Right. What about the Eagles? So you like Minka and the Steelers. What about the Eagles? Who's your favorite player right now?
Right now, I know like in the past, like my guy was Nick Foles. Like I just thought like what he did for the city was just incredible. Like being able to come off the bench and like literally on the brink of retirement and to go ahead and bring that first championship to the city, that was just incredible. It's hard to compare that. And on the current team, like I definitely like what Jalen Hurts has been doing. I like the way he's been conducting himself, the way he's leading the team. And another guy, like I like Darius Slay too. Like I like defenders, honestly. Like I like defensive backs, and that's the position group I like that. For sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're fun to watch, right? You get a lot of good defenders, like that kid from the Cowboys. He has 5 picks already on this year. It's pretty amazing. But yeah. I'm just hoping for my guy. I got Miles Sanders in my fantasy as my running back, and I was looking because he's a Pittsburgh guy, and I was hoping that he would, turn it up this year, but he just hasn't had the opportunity. I see they're playing Gainwell a lot more, but it's good to have you on. I like having Steagle fans on, so that means you're all about PA. So hey, Brandon, I appreciate you coming on and sharing some time with us.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right, take care, buddy. All right, let's see who we got on. Hey, Alfred, can you hear me? All right. I guess we can't hear Alpha. Alfred, you got to turn your mic on, buddy. All right, Gunnar, let's move on. But yeah, I think I'm pretty excited for this season. And oh, hey, Vince, can you hear me? Vince, you got me. Hold on. There we go. Hey, Vince, how you doing, buddy? How about that? What did it take us? Only took us like 50 minutes to get you on. Wait, we lost him. Hold on. All right, hold on. All right, hold on, Vince. Can you hear me, Vince? Yeah, I all right. Hey, Dan, and if you guys are on, I can't hear Vince. Hold on, trying to figure it out here. Hey, everyone, I'm going to refresh this event real quick. Maybe that's what it is. I keep hitting unmute, and I don't hear him. All right, let me see. Hold on a second. We got your video working. All right, hey everyone. We're still trying to get the connection here with Vince. I don't know what's going on, Vince. Let's see. Can you hear me now? It looks like you can hear me, but I can't hear you. That's crazy. I don't know what's happening here. We got to get our engineers on. Hold on, everyone. We're going to call Dan here real quick.
Hey, I'm on the phone with him. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's a hardware issue. So his mic and camera are coming in and out.
Okay.
So I don't know, man. I don't know what you want to do. We can keep troubleshooting, or if you want to reschedule. I'm not sure how long it'll take us.
Well, let's why don't you guys troubleshoot? I'll bring some more fans on, and then we'll just, give it maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, you want to keep vamping for a bit?
Yeah.
And we'll give it another shot.
Yeah, just tell him he can. We'll just get him off, and then if you guys can fix it, we'll get him back on. If not, we'll reschedule.
Okay.
Thanks. Hey everyone, sorry about that. We're having some hardware issues with Vince. That he maybe can hear us, but we can't hear him. Are you there, Vince? Give one last shot. All right, sorry about that, but we can continue on our football talk. Let's see. I saw an MLB question here from somebody who asked me. Brandon, you asked the Major League Baseball playoff matchup is most interesting to me. Well, obviously my Pirates aren't in it, so it is pretty hard to watch some of it. But I love those. I love the wild card games, the last two nights, just because I love that they're one game and done. Right? They mean a lot. You see a lot of emotion. You see a lot of stuff in the guys. And sometimes to me, when the games go 5 or 7 games, it becomes a lot. And I wish the games were just like hockey. I wish the playoffs were a little shorter. I think it get more intense, but I understand with baseball how it's been. But like last night, the atmosphere in Los Angeles, and then the night before that, the atmosphere was they were incredible. And sometimes when you get to the long playoff season, you don't see that all the time. You know, you don't get the best pitchers, you don't get the best players, and there's different strategies. So, but it's good. But I don't know to tell you who I think is going to win it. I think that the Houston, and I think they played Detroit. I think that series is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Jalen Smith being cut by the Cowboys and then signing with the Packers. Yeah, I don't really know why they cut Jalen. He's always been a really good player. And, you know, there's always sometimes that issues come up with teams. But I think the Packers picked up a good guy. I mean, if I'm a linebacker and I'm leaving Dallas, what better place to go than to Green Bay? I think they're clicking on all cylinders. And to add a good player like that, they're going to be even more dominant in the NFL right now. But you know, I think that there was another I think the Patriots cut Stephon Gilmore, and my boys told me today that he went to Carolina. Is that right, Gunnar and Gabe? He went to Carolina? But I think that's right. But, you know, I think that Carolina picking him up and, you know, they're going to be better and better. They're just getting better and better every week. So, you know, I love watching the games. I think, you know, with Gunnar and Gabe and how we do, we love watching, what is that called on NFL Network, boys? It's the one where they show all the red zone stuff. I think it's Red Zone. It's called Red Zone. But it is fun to watch that, you know, even though you want to watch a game and kind of figure out the ins and outs and see the coordinators, how they go against each other. But the Red Zone is so much fun because you just see the action all the time. And I think that's one of the best things about the NFL. Oh, wait, there's my wife chiming in. Who is my best family member? Hey, Annie, my favorite family member. I don't know. I think that might have to be Fiona. Sorry. Of course, honey. I love you the most. All right. We got Vince back on. Vince, can you hear me? Hold on. What? Let's see.
We should have it.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Hey, buddy. Oh, wait, we're going in and out. I'll tell you what, Vince. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I don't think our computers are invincible right now. I think they're beating us pretty bad. Can you guys out there hear Vince talking? Oh, man. Let's see. Hey, Vince, I'm going to call you on a speakerphone and just lay you down here and see if everybody can hear you then.
All right, how's that?
That's pretty good. Can you hear me through your computer?
Yes, I can. But what I was going to do is I was just going to put you on the phone. Let me turn the volume down. All right, how's that?
That's good.
Hear me on the phone?
Yeah, you can hear me through the computer, right?
I don't hear crap now.
All right, you hear me through the phone, right?
Yeah, I hear you through the phone just fine.
All right. Hey, is everybody out there? Can you hear Vince? All right, we got my phone on now, right here. This is where Vince is. So, what's up, buddy? I'm glad that we could connect. Sorry about this craziness we got going on.
Yeah, computers. That's way beyond me. You know, like I said, I only had my dog here to help me out, but we had your guys. Great to be on here, Gus. It's good to see you, man.
It's nice to see you. You know, I kind of did a little fast introduction of you. I'm probably sure I didn't do you any justice, but you know, I just love. I watched the movie again today, and actually, you know, I had a little tear in my eye because it makes me realize that you and I are similar, right? We come from places that people get so involved in where we kind of what we've been through and being a part of all this. and being in the NFL like that picture you see there.
Yeah, with Mark Wahlberg. Actually, I texted today to see if he could join us, and he's out on the set somewhere. But to be with Mark, and and Mark had a pretty interesting background as a child. I came from parents who never got beyond the 8th grade, grew up in suburban Philly. And you're out there in suburban Pittsburgh. I mean, we were, and the teams that we were following. You're following the Pirates and the Steelers. We got the Phillies and the Eagles. I mean, they were tough, hard-nosed, blue-collar kind of teams, and then we wind up together. That's the special part. And then you have that Disney. I was saying earlier when we could hear each other. Who can believe that a special teams guy is featured in a Walt Disney movie, and starring a guy like Mark Wahlberg? It's pretty wild.
Yeah. Hey, Vince, real quick, can you mute yourself on the computer? Just hit the mute button, and then we'll just stay on the phone because it's going back and forth a little bit. I don't know why, but yeah.
Okay, I'm muted right here on the computer.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so just having your story. So you say your dad, he was a mill guy. Seems like my dad was too. My dad was in the military, was in the Korean War. My mom worked all over. So you were tough. And is that kind of how you started out as a kid? You probably remember all the kids playing in the streets. Did you guys have a field, or where did you go out and play with all the people in your neighborhood?
It's really cool. I grew up in a housing project, Gus. It was built on a golf course back before World War II. And they were building all these housing projects. My father didn't get into the war. He would have gone, but he was legally blind in one eye because at the pig farm that my grandfather owned in suburban Philly, right by the Philly airport, my father he was about 13 or 14 years old. He had to clean the latrine. They didn't have running water. They had it was there. He went into the outhouse. And the latrine hit him in the eye, and he went running out to his father. And my grandfather, his dad, says, just at the field, he wound up getting blind in one eye. So he never went to the war, but he was Westinghouse. But my mom and dad, they get married in 40 and they move into this housing project. And Gus, it was absolutely perfect. You would have loved it because it was built on a golf course and it was like circles. It was a circle around it, a perimeter around, and a golf course on the inside and a fairway, about a 400, a long par 5. And right down there, lined by trees. And that's our backyard. And there it was. All the babies, This was World War II, and I'm born in '46, and we got all, and everything was the game, and we knew it was the Eagles. It was back then. It was the 70. It wasn't the Sixers. It was the Philadelphia Warriors. We didn't have hockey then. You had our big three, and that was the Phillies. And whether it was wiffle ball, we knew the Yankees. We knew the Red Sox. We knew the Dodgers. We knew all their lineups, and we pretended that guy when we played all those games. And that's what we did. I mean, we were so poor. It was lower middle class. And you learn to survive. And then you get your heroes. And my hero was Tommy McDonald. And he was a little guy. And boom, it happened. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's crazy. You probably played a lot of football because you guys were Eagles fans growing up, right?
Well, I played Little League football. And we didn't even have a team in the neighborhood. And I lived in this development called Glendale Heights Ownership Association, whatever that was. And so my father actually formed the team so that I could play football when I was about 7 years old. And wouldn't you know it, that went to this. But my size stopped me from because of coaches saying you're too small and this and that. I never played any organized football other than the youth leagues until I got my senior league in high school. And, I led the county in touchdowns and receptions, but nobody knew me. So I'm honorable mention, that's called Aldo. But as you know, the older you get, the better you used to be. I'm all state now, soon to be all American in high school. But, I actually wound up pole vaulting. In the backyard of our house, there was a creek called the Muckinapandus Creek. And I used to pole vault across the creek with a bamboo pole. And
wait, what'd you use to because usually there's a pit that's still and your pole goes in there so what, did you just have some a big rock you would put it on and go over?
Well, no, it's just there was banks. It was about 3 or 4 foot tall, and the creek was about 10 feet wide, and I would just take the pole and put it, the bamboo pole that they used back in the day when people were getting rugs in the neighborhood, they rolled them around a bamboo pole, and I would grab one of those poles and use it as my pole vault. And then, but then I did an upgrade. I did it over the clotheslines. Nobody had dryers back then. Most of the people were washing, washing by hand, and it was ancient. And when you know that that led to me getting the track scholarship to St. Joe's College in Philly, and then I became a decathlete from there and go back to my alma mater and coach track for 6 years before I decided to take a shot at the dream that Dick Vermeil gave me, which is interesting because Dick Vermeil got the idea because of the Washington Redskins, and they had a free agent tryout, and George Allen had a free agent tryout, and he brought this guy in. You might remember him, Herb Mulkey. You remember him?
No, I don't remember Herb.
Well, he found him at a free agent tryout in 1974, and the coach was Dick's idol. And he said, "What the hell? I'm going to give this one a shot." And that's how he found me. And out of the 300 guys that showed up, I was the last guy standing. And then they make a freaking movie about it.
Well,
who could believe this? I mean, look at this.
I know that's awesome. Like, I wanted to ask you, like, where did you write a book about it? How did they get the story?
No, man. I was always. Well, everybody's seen Rocky, right? Like Rocky's on Mount Rushmore. You got Rocky, and Rudy's my buddy. He did that great movie in Notre Dame, and there's all these great sports movies. But Rocky, I was always called the real life Rocky. I was 30 years old, Italian descent, the whole deal. And so what had happened was back in 2001, 2002, ESPN said, "Hey, we want to do a feature to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Rocky, the movie, and we want to do it through you because you're the real life Rocky." And they said, and so they did a feature on Monday Night Football, and you'll love this. Jaws, Ron Jaworski, Jaws, and the late great and everybody's favorite Stuart Scott,
right?
Busting my chops. Hey, Jaws, there's this guy you played with, and they showed the feature, and when you know it, damn, Hollywood came calling the next day. And the guys that did Miracle and Rookie took the script to Walt Disney, and there it is. Disney brought the script right on the spot, and we started filming in 2004, and it came out around Labor Day in 2006. It's been 15 years.
So, did you get to pick who played you?
No, man, I had no idea who Mark Wahlberg was either, Gus. That's the craziest and funniest. Yeah, I mean.
So you never saw Boogie Nights?
He says, "You got Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch playing you." I said, "Oh my God, he is." I texted him today. I told him he says say hi. I told him we were going to be on his show. He's on set, but he's just the best. We've remained really close. He worked his butt off, got the crap kicked out of him out on the field because all the guys on all the doubles. I mean, all the extras that were the football players were all Arena League players that were active or NFL players, former NFL players. So the intensity and the hitting was real. There was no faking whatsoever. And Mark got clocked a few times. If you go to YouTube, just look up Vince Papale YouTube and look at Papale and Wahlberg on set, and Mark's talking about how he says, "Hey, listen, the only way the guy's going to respect me, I got to treat this real, because he played the lone survivor, the Navy SEAL, Marcus Luttrell, and he said, my God, he says, you got 12 or 13 SEALs over top of you for every shoot. He says, you got to make it real. And, I was on set all the time. So it was pretty cool. Then they shot it all in Philadelphia. Thanks to Rocky. So Sylvester Stallone, I had never met Sylvester before. And then I was chosen to actually be the MC for the first edition of Creed. And they had it at the top of the Art Museum steps. And that's when I first met my man, Sylvester Stallone, and gave him a big hug and thanked him for giving me the opportunity, because it was all this Rocky comparison, and then it turned out okay.
Well, it's a very similar story, right?
Yeah. I mean, just listen, it's everybody's story. Gus, you were a kid, you had the dream. I mean, we all have our dream. It's first of all, you're going to get the opportunity, and that guy we're looking at right there, Dick Vermeil, gave me the shot in 76, and that's because there's a George Allen there, that took the risk and did that, and it's just, it's so cool. You know, it's the perfect storm. And here we are 15 years later, and I'm traveling around, written a couple books, you know, traveling around the world, speak. Well, I used to until the pandemic, but it's starting to light up a little bit, so it's getting better.
It's getting better. So when you were there and you're on set and you're doing all these things, did they let you have any input in how the story was being told or not?
Yeah. The only input was stay the hell out of the way. Catch you on the
Hey, Huddle Up with Gus listeners, Manscaped. They sent me, they hooked me up with a bunch of tools and formulations for their package 3.0 kit. So, you know, I want to show you guys what's in the perfect package, right? We all think we got a perfect package, but they sent me the perfect package 3.0 kit. And I want to show you what they sent me. So it was crazy. It came in this great box, you know, and you can see what it says. They will thank you because they send us this awesome trimmer. They sent us, you know, stuff that makes you smell better. And then, you know, they sent me this great, some boxers even, which you get, right? Protect them. And then, you know, they sent me this cool sack, I guess you want to call it, to store all your stuff in. So it's been great. Manscaped sent me a bunch of product, you know, and, you know, you can see it all on here. You know, you can go to manscaped.com and put in the code Gus Frerotte, that's GUSFREROTTE, get 20% off and free shipping when you use that code. But you can get a kit, you can get individual items like this way cool groomer that has a little LED light, ceramic. These things come apart, they're waterproof, you can do a lot with them. So, you know, Manscaped is great. You know, it's funny. I remember when I was playing with the Denver Broncos, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there was a gentleman who was playing on our team, and, you know, if he ever hears the story, he'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But he brought his own clippers in one time, and he used it to trim his beard up and his goatee and everything, and he had them there for about 2 or 3 weeks, and he goes in around the corner, he walks in, and there's a person, another player, that is actually manscaping with his beard trimmer. So, you know, one of the things is you don't want to use the same trimmer down there that you use up here. So he kind of freaked out a little bit, and he said, hey, how long have you been using that tool there? And he said, well, it showed up here about 3 weeks ago, and I've been using it ever since. So, you know, there is a lesson learned that, you know, don't leave things out. And probably if it would have just said Manscaped on it, we wouldn't have had that issue. But it's probably one of the funniest taking care of your balls stories I've ever heard or been around in the locker room in the NFL. So it's a great story. But, you know, I always said there was no way to know. There was no name on it. And the guy was just using it. And another guy was using it. It was not good. But it's a heck of a funny story. So one of the best I've ever heard in my 15 years playing in the league. But, you know, there's so many great things about Manscaped and what they're doing. Because, guys, you got to take care of yourself. Even though I got gray hair and getting older, but you still have to maintain some sort of grooming, right? And so, you know, we all work out. For me, I like working in my yard, doing those things now that I'm retired, getting a little sweat on and everything. You want to smell good. You know, you got to take care of yourself. They got some great products. You know, this one, a little ball deodorant. We all need that here and there. After, you know, working in the yard, taking a hike, doing a walk, whatever you do, it's a great thing. But there's so many great products. I want to thank Manscaped for sending them to me. The Lawnmower 3.0, obviously you can use it anywhere in your body, but I'm sure you guys have all seen the commercials. But this is one just letting you know that the Lawnmower 3.0 comes with the perfect kit. You can buy the lawnmower by itself. You can buy all these products individually. They even sent me this wonderful shirt. I don't know if you can see the back. Your balls will thank you. And then here's the front. So it's an awesome shirt. They have great gear. And you know what? Sometimes you can just sit back, take care of your balls a little bit, and read the paper. So I think Manscaped even has their own daily news, so which is great. So don't forget that you can go to the code Gus Frerotte, and that's GUSFREROTTE, and you can save 20% on any products. The perfect package gift set, and you can save 20% and get free shipping. So use the code Gus Frerotte, GUSFREROTTE. Hey, everybody spells my name wrong. They even spelled it wrong on the back of my Pro Bowl jersey. So, I gotta help you guys out. So don't forget how important it is that you use these products. Take care of yourself down below and have some fun, right? There's nothing closer to you than your little buddies. So use the lawnmower, use the code Gus Frerotte, save 20% and get free shipping, and order some great Manscaped products.
As soon as that camera starts clicking, we're talking thousands of dollars. We don't want to see you and the 10,000 friends that you bought yesterday. You bought today. All my cousins, all my friends, all my buddies. They're all with us, and it was fun. Yeah, I was on set all the time. What I did, I helped in the development of the script, and the executive producer was Ken Mock, who took the risk, and then somebody else. Brad Gann, he wrote the Oscar De La Hoya story, and they did the whole thing on spec, and Disney loved it, picked it up, and those guys have done pretty well right now. So.
Yeah, no, I think it was just, I don't know how close it was to.
It was pretty close, it captured the journey, and they're going to mess around a little bit.
Yeah.
They had me as, hey Tom, what's up? So they had me as a part-time bartender and a substitute teacher. And in reality, I did get fired from my teaching job. I was the head track coach, assistant football coach, working my master's degree and trying to qualify for the Olympic trials in the decathlon. And
yeah, they didn't show any of that.
Nah, they didn't want to go into the past, like with Rookie. And, in the movie The Rookie. So they went back and they traced back to when he was a kid. And I was hoping they'd do that. Because I think if they had seen where I grew up in the project and the whole deal, it really would have had a tremendous, tremendous impact. But hey, listen, that's Walt Disney, and and I'm not complaining. And I see Terry, she said that I have any input in the script. I did, especially a lot of it. I with the second unit, I helped them develop the special teams plays. But what they did is all the plays that they did in the actual plays when they were showing the team in pro uniforms, NFL uniforms, which is another story. I sort of alluded to that email I sent you today. All those pro uniforms, that was actually, you could put, like they did in Miracle, because it was the same guys that did that. You could put it side by side, and it was absolutely a duplicate of a mirror image of what happened in reality. They messed around a little bit with some of the rough touch and whatever. And that was cool. Those rough touch guys were all first responders that they brought in. And, so Disney, they just know how to do it. They did it right. So it
deep pockets, right? So the one thing I wanted to ask you was your buddies, right, in the movie. Was that like very accurate? Very
accurate. Very, very accurate.
And you had seats at the Eagles games.
We had our season tickets starting at Franklin Field. When I was a junior at St. Joe's, when season tickets cost $60, right? $60. Now you pay $60 for a minute on some of those seats.
Oh yeah, and that's for 2 beers.
Yeah. Where did the Steelers play? Forbes Field, for crying out loud?
Oh, a long time ago. Then 3 Rivers, and now they're at Heinz Field. So
I was like, we went in there. It's just the progression, and I had the season tickets all the way through to that point. And but yeah, those guys, we all stuck together. And that one guy, I won't mention his name, he never came around. The one guy that was a downer.
Yeah.
And he never came around. And it was just a result of, I was with all my guys. I took them all out. We took them to a Phillies game. I took them to one of the Italian restaurants in Philly. And we were having a good old time, and this guy just walked up and said, "Hey, Vince, can I have your autograph, take a picture?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem." So the guy got pissed off. He was all offended and and I've never talked to him since.
Wow.
But those guys were all real. And I got to real quick before, because this is so cool. There's I'm going to show you see that USA jersey right there?
Yeah.
The Syracuse thing. That's my daughter's cheer to Syracuse, and my son played. My son's a football player. He's a prospect, so he's okay. But my wife Janet wore the USA jersey, and everybody asked, like Terry said, did I have anything in the script and how to choose a movie, and they captured the journey. We needed to get the NFL's endorsement for the branding rights, and Janet was in reality a part of the member of the USA World Gymnastics team,
right?
Teammates with Kathy Rigby back in the Munich days. And she coached at Penn, coached and taught all over the world. And she's doing real estate now. We've teamed up and formed a Papale group. We do that in 3 states. But, Janet, in order to get that, we went to the NFL. Our guys from Disney go to the NFL, and they turned us down. We've already got our sports movie. We got Jerry Maguire, right? So, they just kept pounding, and finally the NFL acquiesced, because we really needed the branding rights so we could call ourselves the Eagles instead of the Turkeys and use the NFL and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been the same.
Yeah, and they caved, and they said, well, this is the one stipulation. And the stipulation being, your wife is Giants fan and a bartender. And I go to Janet. I wish she was here. And I go to Janet. I said, listen, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to do it. She said, what, are you crazy? She said, yeah. So she signed off on it, and it happened. So it's pretty cool. So, 15 years to myself.
Well, when I watch a movie and I see Janet in the stands with the Giants jersey on, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that wouldn't happen in Philly, because I've played there, and I tell my family, don't wear my jersey or our team jersey, because you're gonna get something thrown at you. So.
Yeah, I know.
So we were playing there when I was with the Vikings. We were playing there in a playoff game, and my family's all there. And Dante Culpepper's mom was there, and she had all his all purple on, and Culpepper and all this stuff on. And literally, they were throwing fans out right and left around her because they were so mean, and they were just throwing beer on her and stuff. And we told that the note went out to all our family members, just try to be inconspicuous, but that's kind of how it goes in Philly.
I mean, sorry about that.
No, I mean, that's part of it. You got to kind of understand where you're going. I mean, for crying out loud, there was a jail cell in the stadium.
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And, it's just amazing that you play that time, and then after you finished playing, your career was over. What was your next transition? What was your next step? Because you've already done a lot in your life, and now you say, okay, what am I going to do next? Because I always think you never get the same high as you get in the NFL.
Oh, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like being in the locker room. I tell you that the biggest highs, believe it or not, and I wish I had a chance to see my wife compete. I absolutely would have gone bonkers. But, my daughter, she was in cheering, for crying out loud. And I would I'd be insane, watching her cheer, and then watch my son, Vinny, from high school, University of Delaware. He's played in the spring league, and, he's got his dreams. So we'll see. And, to see him, I mean, that's about the biggest high that I could possibly imagine, other than the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. And it was a very big high, because Doug Peterson, the head coach, is our very best and dear friend. He lives around the corner from us right here in Jupiter, Florida. After he got released,
right.
He retired, so to speak. So, you don't get that. So, but what I was doing, Gus, my second or third year, CBS Philadelphia came to me and said, we'd love you while you're playing still to be a weekend sportscaster. And so I did it. I had no broadcasting experience whatsoever. And Tommy Brookshire was the guy that he wanted to retire, and they gave me that job. And then I went back and to start to play the third season. And no problems with the contract and everything. Well, what had happened was I got a sciatic problem, and then I didn't tell anybody, and I really sucked. in training camp, and they cut me. So immediately CBS says, all right, we're going to bring you back and you're going to be full-time with us here in Philadelphia. Well, when you know it, after 3 games, the Eagles wanted to call me back, and I had to make a decision. And my decision was to go back because we were on the way to turning the corner. And we actually did. We got into the wild card against Atlanta. And I was captain of the special teams the year before. And, it's like you said, Gus, it's like that high. There was nothing at that point. And I'm doing all this TV stuff. So, they didn't really take too kindly to the fact that I walked out and went back and played football. And after the season was over and I came back, there wasn't anything available for me. So I got into radio, and that was cool, and did some broadcasting, did a lot of radio. I did the pregame and postgame for the Sixers when they won the World Championship. And
that had to be fun.
I worked with the Philadelphia Stars, and I did with Carl Peterson, our general manager, became the general manager of the Stars, and I became their radio guy, and then I got into sales and marketing. Was doing pretty good. Met Janet, we teamed up. I was doing mortgages, she was doing real estate, and then boom, 16 years ago, the movie comes out, and it just changed my life. I speak around the world, and it's pretty cool. So
how
just started.
How often do How often do you and Mark do things together for the movie? Do you do that anymore, or just when it first came out?
Well, no, we've done a few things. The Pope came into town, and when he's into Philadelphia, we'll do a few things. Or we might have an opportunity to go out and play golf because he loves some of the Philly golf courses. And there's a love. There really is a big attraction for Mark here because he always talks about how great a town Philadelphia is, and it really is a fun, passionate town. Some great restaurants and a lot of great clubs. I mean, it's cool. And I have a house right there in Philly that my son's living in. It's really cool, And but anyway, I'm down here now. But Mark just embraced the whole thing. And every time he goes out and he promotes a movie, he always talks about Invincible. It might have been the one that launched him. So what a great movie. But I love Philly too. My daughter went to Haverford, and then she went to vet school at Penn. And so we've been in Philly for dealing with all the stuff, her moving and doing all that for 8 years. And now she went down to DC to Friendship Animal Hospital. But you're right about Philly. I mean, the places to go, the food, everything is wonderful. Yeah, and I'm in the Queen Village section. That's where I call it my pit stop. And the Queen Village is right around where they signed the Declaration of Independence.
Right.
It's very historic. Great restaurants, and right off the river. It's just around the corner from the stadium. It's pretty cool. There's something to be said about urban life. And we have parking, so that makes it even better.
Right. But, my daughter. That's what I made her get when she got to Philly. If there was a space that you could rent that space. So you always have a spot to park. Right. The only thing I don't like is getting in and out of on 76, getting in and out of Philly. When I got to come back to Pittsburgh, because I leave late at night, so I don't have to deal with that traffic. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, that's what they call the short, the Schuylkill Expressway. It was almost like my browser here. You guys were laughing at me. I mean, I say when I say I'm old school. The browser I think was built back in the days when they were doing Fortran, for crying out loud.
Right.
It is what it is. Life's an audible. You just got to roll.
Yeah, but, definitely.
Here we are, Gus. Talking. We're still alive. We still have our wits about us. I know you're doing a lot of stuff with, it's retention and mental health. And I listen. My mom. I'm big into the mental health aspect of the game, and I do a lot of work with the military in Philadelphia and down here, and with the police. Because my mom was mentally she suffered from anxiety and depression, and you spoke of you triggered something when you said Haverford, because around the corner from the college is Haverford State Mental Hospital, and that's where my mom spent a few years of her life. While I was going through high school, and thank God for school teachers, and thank God for coaches who took me under their wing. Otherwise, I don't know where I'd be and what I'd be doing. I sure so wouldn't be talking to you. That's for darn sure.
And where did your son go to high school?
Well, he went to a Bishop Eustace Prep in suburban. It's right across the river from Philly, and then from there he got a scholarship at the University of Delaware, and really had a great senior year. And we thought he was going to get drafted. He's been compared to Adam Thielen and Cooper Kupp, and here it turned out he had a couple sports hernias. And Yeah,
those are the worst.
There's and a couple of the guys I know. Hey, I know a couple of the buddies. I let a bunch of his teammates. Hey guys, what's up? I know you're watching, and so what a crowd and what fun that was to be a part of all that. But and then just when because that gets done with the sports journey and he's going to get a couple tryouts. The goddamn pandemic hit and they shut everything down.
Yeah, so that makes it tough. And he's still playing though, right, in the spring league?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you know who his coach was? Jerry Glanville, for crying out loud.
Oh, I love Coach Glanville. He came and recruited me when I was here in Pittsburgh working out. I played at Tulsa. I came back to Pittsburgh and I lived with my wife. She was going to Pitt and I was working out. I didn't have a pro day. And Jerry Glanville came here to Pittsburgh to work me out. And I almost went with him, but they didn't end up drafting me. The Washington did. But what a great guy. And my son, it's kind of funny. My son Gunnar would have played against Vinny probably because he went to Pittsburgh Central Catholic. I think they played against each other in the playoffs. And then my son Gabe went to Delaware, and he's a little younger than Vinny.
What year did he graduate?
Which one, Gabe or Gunnar?
Gabe.
So Gabe. Gunnar said that you guys played against each other in college. So Gunnar went to William and Mary. Gabe went to Delaware. Gabe graduated this past year in the spring from Delaware. So he would have graduated in 2021. So he would have
freshman when Vinny graduated.
Yeah. Yep. So
we had a pretty good year. They got into the playoffs and they were moving. Hey, you know what? It was fun, and nothing more exciting than see your son or daughter excel in everything and anything that they do. And Janet and I, we're just such jocks. Janet's a great athlete. She loves golfing and doing all that stuff, and it envelops our life, a lot of it, and we're still excited to be a part of it. It's really cool to see the kids grow, though.
Oh, it's so much fun to watch them grow. I love having Gunnar and Gabe in the background helping me with all this. So it's just so much. It's really nice to have them all on here. Yeah. Do you think that if it's kind of funny. I was telling the boys that, you kind of spent your whole life in Philly. Do you think you would ever played for another team?
Don't think so. It's just all the circumstances. It's just the way it happened. No other team would have had that free agent tryout. Coach Vermeil, you saw the scene in the movie where he came up to me afterwards. I said, "You're a lot faster than that car of yours."
Yeah.
Well, we really had that. Yeah, we really had that discussion at the vet in the elevator as we were going down into the locker rooms. And he said, "You're out of 4 or 5." And I said, "Oh, well, that's cool." And he said, "How old are you?" And I was 30. I said, "Well, I'm 24." And where'd you play your college football? I said, Temple. I didn't even know Temple. It wasn't Temple. He didn't even know anything. Temple didn't even have a football program then. They suspended it.
Right.
And next thing you know, I got a $21,000 contract 10 minutes after that elevator ride. It was pretty cool. I don't think anywhere else would have had it, just simply because nobody was offering that kind of an opportunity. And, it's just the way it happened. And that's the perfect storm. It's everything, the butterfly effect, everything just fell into place.
So when you go back, I love the scene when you go back to the bar after you get your contract, right? Was that like, do you remember that? Because that hit home for me as well. Like when I was drafted and going to see the people I grew up with, that's like a special feeling.
I go there all the time still.
Really?
Yeah, it's right around the airport, and and I'm always going, especially because it's just a little bit. It's right off Interstate 95, which heading down to University of Delaware. Sometimes I'd be coming back after Vinny. I'd go to a practice, take Vinny out, and I'd just swing by and to see if the guys were there. And I'd go in there and I'd see all my students, half the students and half my coach. I mean, it was a neighborhood bar, and it was perfect. It was the ultimate Cheers bar, and it was as cool as could be. So. Yeah, I remember it. I'll never forget that. It's a tight community that I grew up in, and I try to do as much as I can. Philadelphia is a big, small. It's a little big town. It's like that.
Oh yeah.
Thing. And it's got a great feel about it, and I'm really excited to be down here. Because I'm getting to meet a whole different crew and. Working on my golf game now. So
yeah, well, I've been working on my golf game for a long time, but I still haven't let my sons beat me yet, which is good. They're trying. They're getting better, but it's getting closer and closer. So, the other thing that kind of gave me chills when I watched Invincible today was the scene where you come out in Dallas, in the stadium in Dallas, because I remember that from when I was a rookie with Washington, and you walk out of that tunnel down the ramp and you come out and it's just like right there. And I was like, oh man, it just brings back so many memories.
Yeah, I remember, and it was so crazy. We filmed a week of the movie there, which was really cool. Vinny celebrated his 10th birthday on October 17th. This is his birthday there, and Mark Wahlberg took him out for dinner. That was his gift, and then he slid him a little cash, which was really cool. But coming down that tunnel, if you watch the film again, you see me pulling on my jersey. I was so. Let me tell you, Gus, I was so nervous. I couldn't even freaking breathe. And, and we were there. This was the first game of the year, and it was about 110 degrees on that turf.
Oh, so it's the worst.
And you're looking across, and they put us in the sun, of course. And you got the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders that are about 3 feet from you, behind you. You talk about distractions. And then you're looking across and Utah Jones, Harvey Martin, and Roger Staubach and the coach. And, oh, my God, I couldn't breathe. And then finally I got my breath. And, they had that one scene where I got wiped out by Randy White. He took me out a couple. When they changed that rule, I couldn't blow the waist. That was the end of that. But there, Texas Stadium, and to tell you, Jerry played a practical joke on us when Mark always when in between sets. My kids were inseparable. They were like pie-to fish. Pie-to fish like to hang on sharks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my kids were like pilot fish with Mark. They were just hanging on him the whole time, and he loved them. They were his surrogate kids. So in between setups, Mark would just have the kids with him. And so this one time he took them, there was a golf cart, and he took the golf cart and took them out of the ramp, and he took them out, and he started going around Texas Stadium. Who he runs into but Jerry Jones. And Jerry says, "Hey, who's that? Is they your kids?" He said, "No, they're Papale's." I was so great. He said, "Come on, let's go play a joke on him." So he put them on his Dallas crap, right? He put Mark in there and and they're waiting just for us to, "Hey, Wahlberg on set." And then Mark comes down, and he's all dressed up in the golf cart. The kids are there. It was hilarious. It was a good get, So, but
oh yeah, it's like having a Giant shirt on. Like you don't get that stuff off, right?
Yeah, I wanted to have a little bit of a fire there, but I couldn't do that. That'd be disrespectful.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So tell me what you're doing today. What are you up to?
Well, I'm getting back into the fray. I'm real excited. I wrote this book. It's called The Last Laugh, and it's about there's a picture that's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame that ironically I made a hit against the Redskins as they were coming into town and recovered the fumble. And Dennis Franks recovered the fumble. And on the sideline, we were adults, wrapping arms around each other. And somebody took a shot, and they put the picture, and it's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So we wrote a book about it. It's called The Last Laugh, From Vision to Victory. And that's at VincePapale.com. And
that's cool.
That's exciting. Right now, I'm just trying to stay in shape, with Vinny. Vinny's chasing his dream. My daughter, Gabriella, just got back into real estate. We started the Papale Group, and my wife's been in it forever. So we're trying to form that. And I'm trying to get involved. I'm going to start coaching high school football. I know you coach high school football, and as part of your so I'm going to start coaching some high school football down here in this area, and just become part of the community like I would be in Philadelphia. And thank God, pandemic. Hopefully, I'm starting to get inquiries, and I'm starting to speak around the country again, where before I was always jumping on the plane at least once a week, giving a speech and telling the story about overcoming obstacles, what it takes to be invincible, winning the day.
Yeah, I think it's so powerful that they tell you when you want to be a keynote speaker, or it's great to have a book or something. You have a whole movie made about your experience in the NFL, which is incredible, with no one other than Mark Wahlberg. So to go out and speak, and to people want to hear that story, how to be invincible, but it goes way deeper than that, and that's what makes it so important to me. was talking to you and finally meeting you was like, it just hit home with me and what I went through in my career and where I came from. You know, going to Tulsa, it's just hard work and character. And that's what I loved about it.
You know, it's great. And Tom, I see you there. I know, because would I want to play in any other city than Philadelphia? Probably Pittsburgh, actually. Not saying that because of the guy that I'm talking to, but that would be where I'd want to go. Here's a great quote that I use all the time. And when I speak, it's not all about football. It's about the dream. It's about hope. It's about obstacles you overcome. You know, the whole thing. And I'm lucky because I do a PowerPoint. And I have some really great videos that Disney and ESPN have done, and and I tie it all in. But this one thing is, when I went to my high school coach and I was 30 and they were busting my chops pretty, you can't do it, Vince, you're 30 years old, it's never been done before, all the doubters, all the haters, whatever. I was a big star in the rough touch games. I played semi-pro football. But, oh, yeah, you think you're going to play in the NFL. So my coach gives me this great quote. It says, happy are those who dream dreams and are willing to pay the price to make their dreams come true. And I worked the whole thing around that. And it's the willingness to pay the price and taking advantage of the opportunities that are out there. You just have to be able to find them and then be willing to do that. And right now, people are paying the ultimate price with everything that's going on with the health issues and some other things that are happening. And they need hope. They need something to lift them up. And hopefully I'm that guy, and I try not to be too academic about it. It's just all about passion and getting up and telling the story that I know relates to so many people's stories out there. We all have that dream. What we're looking for is that shot. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's so true. And I think that, when I think about being able to go talk to people, because people see the movie, right? And they don't really know you, but then when they get to meet you, they understand why the movie was made. And I think that's the best part of it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I hope so. I just try to be nice to everybody and be respectful. And my kids, Janet and I, we've tried to teach them that. Look, we've been through the mill as kids growing up, and I don't ever want them to have to deal with what we had to deal with when we were growing up.
Yeah, bamboo pole vault poles.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you. But that's where I got that. I got that fiberglass pole, one of the first ones out, and I was a foot and a half off the world's record coming out of high school, not even knowing. And I just did it, it just happened.
Right.
And, then I wind up in the NFL. It's just like, hey, it's first, it's just taking risks.
Oh, yeah. Did you guys now taking a risk? Like the part of the movie that was also funny was when all the car lights are on. Did that happen too? Or was that?
It happened. It happened. You've seen the movie Bagger Vance. That's in Bagger Vance.
Yeah.
The end, and they bring the cars up. It actually happened at a track meet we had, and I was actually starting to clear heights I'd never cleared before in high school, and they wanted to end the meet because daylight savings hadn't hit yet. And so my coach says, you're not going to end the meet right now because we're going to finish it now. He said, get the cars and put the lights on the pit. And then it went from that. And then what happened is this when I was playing in the touch games, and we played in this place called the T-Bar. It was a 80-yard field, right? It was like a softball field, Father and Old Field, right behind the T-Bar. The guys out of the T-Bar, man, they were tanked, I'm telling you. Between the secondary smoke and everything else, there were some real characters.
Oh, they were all mill guys.
Oh my God, they're all they're working. My dad worked at Westinghouse, and he's there. You got 2 cases of beer on the sideline. That's how you hydrated yourself, and it was great. So the lights would go out, and they would just would bring the cars up and put the cars on there, and that's how we'd finish the game. So life was good. It was pretty special back then, and I'm really happy and very, very excited to say I've been a part of all that. And the kids today, they can't appreciate it like we can. Yeah, so it is what it is, so you just run with it.
Definitely. And I wanted to ask our audience if anybody else had any questions that they wanted to ask Vince or myself while we're still on here. But Vince, it's been awesome. This platform, I wish we would have had longer to get you on, and I wish everything would have worked easy. But next time it's going to be super when, we get you on. We'll do it again. Hopefully you can come back with Mark and we'll have a really good, fun conversation.
I'm trying to do that. I got to try to get a hold of his agent. I have this really special relationship with Mark. Is I don't ask him for anything other than his friendship. That's it.
Yeah, I completely get it.
Vince has asked me. I did one time with a military thing with a friend of mine who's a Gold Star father, and Mark, without any hesitation, did something for him. And but other than that, we'll try to work that out.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. So where are you now? What are you doing that all of our fans or people out here that are listening can follow you? How they can follow you with what you're doing next, or do you website, or how they can buy your new book?
Yeah, VincePapale.com. That's very simple. It's just my name. And if you want to, if anybody wants to book me for an engagement or something like that, or just even have a conversation, just go there at the tab. It says form, and you just fill in the information, and then I'll get back to you. I do Cameo, I do Mentor Cam, I do Memo, all those things that are out there. I've been very successful in doing that. But hey, listen, I just love people and being around people, and I'm spending most of my time down here in Jupiter, as I say. And I want to join the South Florida Alumni Association and get involved and get to know some of the guys there. And the great thing is the Invincible tag, that brand is just so strong, that opens for me a lot of doors. And just
there's no doubt.
It's just I just want to sort of be the co-captain of the team. And help Vinny and Gabrielle have their dreams come true. And they're hard workers and great kids in the community. And, I love them to death, and I'm excited. I was 47 and 50 when I had my first children. Yeah. And it's like the coolest gift in the world, so I'm embracing being a father as much as anything.
Well, I don't think it matters what age you are when you have kids. It is the coolest gift in the world. So one last question I want to ask you, Gunnar and Gabe, if you could put up the card of Vince's football card up. So, Vince, what do you think you signed more of, the Vince Papale football card or the Invincible DVD?
Well, I would think the Invincible DVDs, that'd probably be the card. And you can, if anybody does have anything that they want to sign, just go to my website and do a self-addressed stamped envelope or whatever. I'll sign it for you and get it right back to you. It comes right to me. But that card there, look at that goofy look.
That's right before what's his name hit you from the Cowboys, that look.
and you notice that there's no wings. There were no wings on the helmet, because I don't know if that was endorsed by the NFL, but that's a good one. I'm pretty impressed with some of these pictures you're throwing up here, Gus.
Oh, I love it. Like the one, Gunnar, put the one up of that one. That one's my favorite.
Man, he just got inducted, and there's Sallie Smith and Fumble Larry. That's Larry Marshall. We called him Fumble Larry because he never fumbled that. That's
not a good name to have.
Yeah, and Sallie Homeboy Smith, man. But Carmichael, congratulations, Big H. He's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
You're not kidding about Big H. I mean, I knew he was tall, but
yeah. I was 6'2" then. Gravity's caught me a little bit, but and then the hair that gave me a couple inches. But Al did good, and God bless Coach Corey. We just lost him, but what a coach he was, man. I tell you, it was fun, and we went through some good times, and got to the Super Bowl. But
which is awesome. Yeah. So Vince, I appreciate you coming on and joining me on the show. I'm sorry we had some difficulties in the beginning, but we got a good team at Super that kind of worked out the kinks, and we got you on so people can listen to you and hear your story.
I appreciate it, guys. It's just like having cramps in a game. You just got to get them worked out and get the kinks out, and then we'll get it all gone. So
so we were filling you up with Gatorade and bananas to get you on here. Get rid of those cramps.
A little bit more than the banana.
Yeah. Don't worry. I've had lots of issues trying to use my computer. So that's why I have my sons at home right now, so they can help me do all this stuff.
It's all good.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, I appreciate you. Being so generous with your time. And I want to thank everyone for joining us on Huddle Up with Gus. And don't forget to go to VincePapale.com. Check him out. You can get his book there. You can send him go to the forum. You can ask him questions. You can send anything you want to autograph to his site. And, you couldn't ask for a better autograph from a better person. So thanks for joining me, Vince.
I appreciate that. And I see one question up there. Yes, Dick Vermeil and I are still very, very close friends, and I see him all the time.
Yeah, I interviewed Dick not too long ago on my podcast, and we had a good time. We talked about a lot of things. Didn't talk about the movie a lot just because he coached a lot of people that I knew. So we talked about a lot of different things, mostly about his wine.
Yeah. I right there, I'm looking at my wine cooler, and there's about 3 rows of Dick Vermeil wine. It is very good.
I'm still waiting for mine to get in the mail. So,
well, he'll get it there. Yeah, the mail's a little slow right now, like everything is. But I'm just so blessed to have guys like Vermeil, and then have the opportunity to talk to you. I was always a big fan. When I got when Terry got a hold of me last night, I said, Gus who? I said, Gus Frerotte. I said, oh man, I'm there. Let's go. Yeah.
Even though I never had those wings on my shoulder, I've always been a big fan of yours as well.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks very
All
much.
Right. All right, Vince, take care. Good luck in golfing. I expect to hear about some scores in the 70s and 60s.
Yeah, the front nine.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Thanks again.
See you later.
All right, take care.
Everybody. Thank you very much. Fly, Eagles, fly. We'll see you guys. Thanks
all right, see you, buddy.
All right, it's all good.
Hey, everyone. I appreciate everyone joining us on Huddle Up with Gus and on the new Super platform. I want to thank NFL Alumni Ventures for partnering with Huddle Up with Gus. I want to thank my team, Terry, Gunnar, and Gabe. And I want to thank all the fans for coming on. We're going to get better and better at this every week. Bring you guys on. If you want to come back, look at Huddle Up with Gus on any social media. We'll put the show out there every week. Every week's going to be a great guest. We're going to have them live where you can take pictures and everything like that. And we're going to you see the trivia. There's a trivia up there. We didn't get to that today just because we had so many problems with it all. But, I can't thank you all enough. And I look forward to the game tonight. Hit me up at Gus Frerotte if you have any questions about the NFL, anything you want to ask me, or hit me up at Huddle Up with Gus. And check me out at huddleupwithgus.com. Thanks again to Vince Papale for joining us. What a great guy. And I can't wait till he and Mark Wahlberg comes back on. And it's going to be a great show. So thanks again. Have a great night. And I don't even have a team. I played for 7 teams, so I can't even root for anybody right now. I just rooting for my own fantasy team. So I need to win one game at least. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, boys, for helping me out again this week. I want to thank my wife for asking a question. That means she was listening. So thanks, Annie. Everyone, take care. We'll see you, Tom. Thanks for coming on. Brandon, everybody, thanks for joining me. And we'll see you next week.
And that's a wrap, sports fans. Thanks for joining in the fun at the 1631 Digital Studios for another action-packed Huddle Up with Gus, featuring 15-year NFL quarterback Gus Frerotte. Huddle Up with Gus is proudly produced by 1631 Digital Media and is available on Apple Music.